Well, it's a gamer, the O.C.G. Starting up a run on Salt and Sanctuary, one of my favorite Souls-like game I deeply love. And, hoping to get the Platinum, which I should be able to get this run. Let me make sure I'm live. Yep. Hello. Bandage ring basically works like the cling ring in Demon Souls. The sodden knife. Yeah. Fuck. Oh well, I'm right there. Not a big deal. Almost. So a lot of drama lately, man. A lot of issues. Just trying to get by. Honestly, it's hard not to think about it right now with my aunt. She just, last week or so, she's been really bad. Way worse than usual. She's normally a pain in my ass, but she's just been especially bad. And I'm reaching my breaking point with her. Here we go. That's as far as I can go here. Now I have to backtrack. Well, for my aunt, it was an entire lifetime of nobody ever telling her no. People felt bad for her. And nobody ever stopped and told her no. So she just felt entitled to get away with her bad behavior. Yeah, except like times a million. You have no idea how bad she really is. So to even explain the situation to you effectively. Because she's somewhat mentally retarded. The only problem is she knows she's somewhat mentally retarded. And uses it to get away. It's like... Imagine if somebody had Down syndrome and they were fucking evil. Because they knew they had Down syndrome and knew that people would give them a break. And that's about what you're looking at. And everyone's like, oh no, you have to give her a break. She doesn't know any better. Yeah, she does. That's the problem. She does know better. I wish she didn't know better. She does though, and it's so frustrating. And like I can't even describe it to you. If you only knew the things this person has done to me, you would be appalled by some of the stuff I could tell you. And she has pretty much been a fucking pain to me my entire life. Yeah. Honestly, shitty doesn't even begin to describe it. And no matter what, I'm constantly fucking forced to suffer. I can't fucking get away from her. I got to a point where I finally thought she was gone. She'd be out of my life, and she couldn't fucking hurt me anymore. And now she's right here back doing the same shit she did to me when I was a fucking kid. And she would smack me in the face because I said so, did something she didn't like. Okay? And I would have to sit there and take it. Because if I did something back to her, oh, she doesn't know any better. As a kid, okay? So she pretty much abused me as a fucking kid. The words can't even express the hatred in my heart that I harbor for her. Now I'll have to wait a little bit longer. Like I said, and it's just, you know, on my best day, I'm fed up with her. I'm fed up with her. You know, I'm fed up. Lately, like last week, she's just been really going in on me, and she's pushed me to my fucking breaking point. Like I said, and then it's how she said it and what she said. Because I was minding my own business, just getting me something to eat, man. And then saying I only care about myself. The person who literally fucking does nothing. Just fucking sits on her ass all day. And then she's like, "Oh, you're gonna eat all the biscuits?" There was fucking 10 left after I was done, okay? Do one thing if I fucking ate them all. There's 10 left. Plenty. I literally counted them. There was fucking 10. Yeah, well, that's the thing. She never just gets mad, okay? You tell her something she doesn't want to hear, and she's going to escalate, start yelling, screaming, and getting physical. That's what she does. She's a fucking bully. You know, and it's, a lot of the time, it's not that I'm afraid to say something to her. It's that if I do say something to her, I'm going to end up most likely having to beat the shit out of her. And then I'm the one in the hot spot, not her. No, it's like it's 7 a.m. here. It's not really time for lunch. Yeah. It would be. It would just depend. I'm kind of private about more private about my personal life and my family. I'm not sure any of my family want to be in it, so it'd be like, do I want to stream? You know, if I can't show my family in my house, so it just depends. It also like you know maybe I would like stream going somewhere. I don't know. It's not something I'm against. Well, not a big deal. I'm right there. There's also just a lot of people who they do the real life streams. They have like exciting stuff to do. They have places to go, or they have like a cool room. I don't really have a cool room. I just basically seeing the extent of my room right now. So. Also, for some stupid fucking reason, the internet from my phone is incredibly spotty outside the house. It should not be. Like, we have an unlimited data plan from T-Mobile, so I should have good Wi-Fi or good internet outside of the house. Even outside of Wi-Fi, I should have data. That's what I'm saying. And it's like half the time I'm outside, out of the house, my phone doesn't have any fucking internet, man. It's just ass. And like, we should, because we pay for it, you know what I'm saying? So it's super fucking frustrating. Wow, shit. Talk about getting saved, holy balls. Oh, that was the fucking end. But yeah, I consider doing it. I don't know. Nah, I don't really fucking care. I had already spent all my salt on shit anyway, so it's not like I lost a bunch. 2,000's really nothing. Just, you know, it just depends, honestly. On if I can get a solid internet connection going, what I would be doing that day, how I feel. I don't know. The Ratchet and Clank PSP game is coming to PS5 today. Size Matters, as part of the classic games for this month. I'm looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank, and the PSP Ratchet and Clank Size Matters has never been re-released ever. You know what I'm saying? Up until now, pretty much your only choice was to play it on PSP or Vita, so this is the first time it's ever come to a console. And it has trophies, so it's got a full trophy list with a platinum, so getting upgraded. And because Size Matters was just on PSP, and well, it had released on PS2, but you know, for the most part, it was on PSP. Hardly anyone played it, so it's an opportunity for a lot of these people to play it. Plus, I own it digitally on PSP, so I'm getting it for free. Fuck, I hate that guy. Oh well. Actually, I might just jump past him this time and go. There's like a rest point right behind him. I probably should have went to that instead of fighting him and then use the rest point to fight him instead. You know, all these people are now saying that there's a chance that Volume 2 of the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection come in 2025, and I'm like, if that's the case, what the fuck are they doing? I'm not even kidding, like, I would be concerned, okay? Because, like, the whole thing about the Legacy Collection thus far, I mean, it's unconfirmed. Okay, so it could come out this year. We don't know. But I'm saying, like, if it does come out in 2025, that honestly concerns me. Because, I mean, they're basic fucking ports. I mean, every game in the collection, dude, was the exact same resolution and frame rate as the original version, okay? So, like, Metal Gear Solid 1... was the same resolution that it was on PS1, and then Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 were the same resolution, the same frame rate over the Master Collection, I'm sorry. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 were the same resolution and frame rate as the HD Collection by Blue Point, okay? But ultimately, nobody cared because all they wanted was to be able to play Metal Gear Solid on a modern system. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it accomplished. Like, it was lazy, it was low effort, but it didn't really need to be high effort. You know? Because that's all people wanted, was to be able to play the games on modern hardware. Okay? And that's why I was fine with it. I knew going in it was going to be something fucking amazing, but I wanted to be able to play, you know, Metal Gear Solid on modern hardware. So for me, it was worth it. That's fair. But at least, you know, it should make you feel better that they're working on it, you know? They're working on making it better. I already told you they have a free patch coming in the next couple of months that should add 4K support to all the games in the collection. So at least they're working on making it better. But regardless, you know, it didn't really disappoint me because I knew what it was going into it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I knew that it was just the same versions on modern hardware. Well, they also did add a platinum to Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear 1 and 2. That's pretty cool. Metal Gear Solid 1 has never had trophies, so... you know, so... And I had assumed that Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is just going to be the same thing. Maybe. I had assumed that Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is just going to be the same thing as Volume 1. Just a quick, easy port of the remaining games. I mean, like, Peace Walker, already done. Just take the HD version. That's what they did for Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. Portable ops. Not that hard. Okay? Metal Gear Solid 5. They have a PC port ready and waiting enabled. Okay? Literally just take the PC version at ultra settings and translate to PS5, which is not that hard because PS5 is PC architecture and can bench press it. Metal Gear Solid 5 is old enough now that even at ultra settings is nothing for PS5. So that would still be an upgrade for what we have on consoles right now. Done. The only thing that would take any amount of time, and not as much as people think, is the port of Metal Gear Solid 3. Or, I'm sorry, forgive me, 4. And that's not going to take that long. People are like, well, Metal Gear Solid 4 is difficult to emulate. Yes, it's difficult to emulate, okay? That's because the PS3 has a very unique and hard-to-program architecture, okay? Porting a PS3 game to a modern system is actually pretty easy. They've done it a million times with a bunch of HD remasters. The Uncharted collection. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's... So, that's the only reason why Metal Gear Solid 4 is hard to run, because emulating it is tricky, because the PS3. But porting it is not that difficult. And once they port it, a toaster could run it. The only reason that Metal Gear Solid 4 is hard to emulate is because of the PS3's emulation setup and how it's a tricky system to emulate. If they were to actually make a native port to PC, to console, they would bench press it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay? So, like, that's the only reason why it takes a very good computer to run MGS4 is because the emulation of PS3 is tricky. If you were actually running a native PC port of MGS4, a toaster could run it by this point. The game is almost 20 years old. It's 16 years old. Like, so, like, and that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be that. It's not as hard as people are thinking to port it. And that's the highest part of the whole thing. Portable ops, easy. Peace Walker, easy. Metal Gear Solid 5, easy. So, like, if it takes them 2 years to do a simple fucking port job, that's what I'm saying. That will concern me. Okay, because, like, a project like that should take no more than 6 months tops. I mean, it's not like they're remastering them. They're going through and they're adding new textures. They're making gameplay improvements. They're improving AI. They're adding this or that. They're literally taking the games as is and converting them to modern hardware. Okay? It's like the definition of a fucking port. Like, it's quick, easy work. So I'm saying, so like, if it takes them 2 years to release a quick, easy port collection, that to me worries me because that's like, shows they're not very competent. And like I said, for, alright, I'm right there. Not a big deal. But yeah, anyway, what I was trying to say, man, is Volume 2 taking till 2025 would seriously be a fucking red flag to me, dude. Okay? It should almost be done by now, okay? Half the work is already done. Peace Walker already has a version that's completely ready to go. Metal Gear Solid 5 has a PC version that's ready to go. Literally, it's just taking the fucking PC version and porting it to PS5. Super easy. They share a similar architecture. So, like, 2 of the games are already fucking ready to go. I can't imagine Portable Ops is going to be that hard, considering a fucking phone can emulate Portable Ops. And then MGS4 is the only thing that's going to take any work. And like I said, that's still going to be just a port job. So, like, if it actually takes them 2 years, that worries me. So, I really hope it's not delayed to 2025. And people are like, well, they haven't announced anything about it yet. Yeah, well, if you pay attention, they didn't really announce anything for the first volume either. They announced it like a month before launch. Like, I think they literally announced it in September, and then launched the collection in October. Like, no joke. Okay, so, the fact they haven't announced it yet doesn't mean it's gonna come out in 2025. Okay? Also, on top of which, like, if it was me, all of the games need to be out before the Delta. Okay? Like, if they release Delta and then they release the second part of the collection, like, what are you doing? Finally. Fuck yeah. In fact, you know what's funny is people emulating MGS4 have actually found out things that would make it even easier than people might think to emulate, or not emulate, I'm sorry, to port. Okay, certain games that were released on PS2, PS3 made the mistake of tying the game logic to the frame rate. Okay, so if you increase the frame rate, you speed up the game. And thankfully, for the most part, they've pretty much stopped doing that. Thank God, because it's super lazy, unnecessary, and it's not good like for future proofing. So when it comes to old games like that, you have to do a considerable amount of work. When it comes to games like that, you have to do a considerable amount of work to untie the game logic from the frame rate. Okay, so that's the problem that a lot of people face when they go to port a game. They're like, oh, let's put it in 60 FPS, and then they find out, oh no, the game's frame logic was tied to 30 FPS, and then they have to put in a lot of work just to be able to run it at higher than 60. Or, I'm sorry, 30, and let alone above 60. But for a lot of those older games, they had their frame rate tied to game logic at 30. But it turns out that Metal Gear Solid 4 always had an unlocked frame rate, even on PS3. It was incredibly rare. Most of the time that game was chugging underneath 30, but in specific situations, you can get the frame rate to go up to 60. Okay? So, like, it just turned out that the game the game was uncapped to go to 60. It just could never actually reach it unless, like, the most rare situations, like when you're looking up at the sky and shit like that. But what that means is they don't even have to worry about altering the game logic. It's already ready to go to 60. God, I hate this. Like, the original Metal Gear Solid. That game's frame rate actually is tied to the, game logic. That's why whenever you see all these different versions of Metal Gear Solid 1, it's almost always at 30. Because the whole game fucking breaks if you try to bring it to 60. I think you may be able to mod it to 60 now, but, like, that's why in the Konami collection, it was 30 only, because the fucking game logic is literally tied to 30 for Metal Gear Solid 1. That's not a problem in Metal Gear Solid 4. And honestly, it should run pretty much flawlessly. And that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most for the port of Metal Gear Solid 4 is the improvements to frame rate. Because if you remember correctly, Metal Gear Solid 4 did not run well. Okay? even Hideo Kojima said he was unhappy with the performance for PS3 in that game. And that's why they made the Fox engine for 5, to get better results. But when he started working on Metal Gear Solid 4, they hadn't even finalized the specs for PS3. That's partially why it had problems. Yeah, but like, the vast majority of MGS4 was like fucking sub 20 frames a second. I mean, that game was virtually always fucking chugging. So, honestly, I think being able to play Metal Gear Solid 4 at lock 60 will be a fucking game changer. Like, that in and of itself would make me buy Volume 2 to be able to play Metal Gear Solid 4 at a smooth 60 instead of it fucking chugging to 20 and below. I'm trying to find it. I'm also hoping that they'll get around to including the Twin Snakes in the Volume 2, because it's a GameCube game. Really fucking easy to emulate a GameCube game, for one. For two, it also uses the same engine that Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 do. So they've already ported over games using the same engine. So, it's easy to do. They've already ported games in the same engine. On top of which, there's never been any official re-release of the Twin Snakes ever. Outside of emulating it, you could literally only play it on fucking GameCube. Where if you were trying to get a legitimate copy, it's crazy fucking expensive. Okay, so it would make it have a legal, valid way to purchase that wouldn't require you to sell a kidney on the black market to get a copy. Also, I disagree with people who say that Twin Snakes is bad. Yeah, thankfully I still have a copy of MGS4. I used to have a copy of the Twin Snakes, but I did sell it when I was a little kid. God, I would have fucking kicked myself now. Because it's worth a lot of money, actually. Oh, great job, Karen. Oh, well, I'm right there. But yeah, like I said, I feel like the people complaining about Twin Snakes is overblown. One second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna switch games.